Welcome to whatever day it is, planning board meeting. May 5th? No, that's not right.
Ninth.
Why do I have a May 5th one here?
I don't know. May have been a typo. I sent that out first and then I changed it.
Well, we're just starting out on the right foot here tonight. I knew it wasn't the 5th because the 3rd of my birthday. And that
I was thinking about Cinco de Mayo when I did that.
That's a good reason. Anyway, welcome to May 9th, I guess it is. Planning board meeting. First item on the agenda is conceptual for Michelle and James Morley at 152 Dearborn Road, map 40845, and I guess there's actually two conceptuals. If you come on up and introduce yourself.
Michelle Morley.
Peter Morley.
Peter?
Yep.
James.
Peter.
Okay. Everybody's trying to confuse me tonight.
He's in the witness protection program.
It's not working very well, is it?
Now we have to move.
So which one are we talking about first?
Whichever you want.
I don't care.
Farm stand, I guess.
Residence and farm for livestock and horticulture, vegetables, etc.
Yes.
Okay. On map 40845. And of course, you're in the Mount Dearborn Overlay District. So what do you want to do?
Basically, we were going to have like just basically a farm store either below our barn. There's like a separate entrance and we can, separate part of it just so that we can sell out our frozen chickens,
Eggs.
lamb, meat, eggs.
Goat milk, soap.
Yeah, soap and things like that from either the barn, or we also have a woodshed that's attached to the house. So either or we could use. We'd probably do in the barn, the lower level of the barn. And I realize it has to be 500 square feet or fewer. So
Which
we
it
would
is.
section off
And you're
that much.
producing it all?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
We'd just like to be able to have regular hours for our customers, because right now they just, text us or call and say they want to come, and I'd rather be able to be open at certain hours.
So where is I know Neil's going to say where this is in the regulations, so where's the Mount Dearborn Overlay District? What page are we on? Where's section?
30.
Section 30, 30A.
Yeah, it's 38, that's why I missed it.
Page 50.
And then Article 19.1.7 is what allows for either a food, produce, or vegetable stand in a rural agricultural, which is what we are, in addition to being the historic.
So you're not proposing any structure for this?
No separate structure. It just, the other thing is the signage to go along with it.
So how big a sign are you proposing?
I'm sorry?
What size sign are you
I
proposing?
think it's limited to 6 square feet for the zone. So that would be like the actual farm sign, but we also wanted to have a, smaller sign on the actual building that shows the entrance.
Could you explain the latter? I understand the farm sign, which would be along the road.
Right, just to mark the entrance to where we would have
Where
the
the
store
farm
on the
stand would
barn,
be.
you know,
It
so,
would say farm store.
yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
And how big would that be?
Goodyear
Probably, maybe like,
1 by 3.
one? Correct.
Because
yeah,
that's
less
allowed.
than that, yeah.
And that would be attached to the barn.
Yes, right by the
Narrow.
entrance.
Point.
Yeah, exactly,
So 1 by 3 directional sign, basically.
yeah.
So it's, the employees wise, it's just gonna be the two of you, I assume,
Yeah, and our son.
Yes.
and your son, okay?
Yeah, we don't have any employees from outside of family.
What would the hours be?
Probably Saturday afternoon and part of Sunday.
And when people come, they would park in the driveway?
Yeah, we also have, there's also parking down right in front of the barn.
Right.
So there's plenty of parking. So I think you're only required to have 2 parking spaces, I think.
Is this the Alicia Walker Farm?
It is.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Are you not gonna be open at all during the week?
I mean, down the road we might, but at this time, right now, I wasn't planning on it.
To
Just because we
avoid
have-
coming back for a second round,
Mm-hmm.
you might want to specify the other hours.
Okay,
Yeah, you don't have to use them.
okay,
We were gonna force you to be open, but
yeah. I don't even know,
Well,
like 9 to 5,
yeah,
basically.
yeah, 9 to 5.
So I guess at most it would be 9 to 5,
7 days.
7 days, yeah.
Will they be required to file a site plan for this? Or can they just?
Site
do it?
plan review, you mean?
Yeah, or just do it? Under the right to farm regulations.
Especially
so,
since it's not a separate building, so,
Because I think you're allowed to sell your own produce.
well, because you're allowed to, doesn't mean you don't need a site plan. You're allowed to put a bank in a commercial building, but you gotta have a site plan.
Gotta have money.
Well, true. For site plan, you need one of these, 1, 2, 3, 6 things has to, any change in use of a site or a structure which, when such change is materially or substantially different from the previous use. Any expansion of a use, so you're not doing that. New construction, not doing that. Modification to a previously approved plan, which you're not doing. Expansion of 200 feet or greater, you're not doing that. So it's either gonna be a change of use, I believe. Any change in use of a site or structure when such change is materially or substantially different from the previous use, such that there is a significant effect on the quantitative or qualitative requirements of these regulations. So I would say, yes, you should do a site plan. I don't think we need to do a fully engineered,
And should they include the second phase of this conceptual review in the same site plan, or 2 site plans?
well,
They
it's two
haven't
different,
described that yet.
they haven't described it yet, but it's 2 different properties, so I would say if we need one, they're gonna be 2 separate site plans. Right? I don't know what this one is yet. I haven't looked at it.
so what information would you need on a site plan then? If it,
Parking, traffic patterns, hours,
It's all in the book, I can give you.
that's
Okay.
mainly it, right there.
I think it would be easier if you put in
Signs.
2, because
Well, you'd have to have 2 site plans, because it's 2 different.
yeah, it's a
different
separate,
properties.
it's a different property,
Yeah.
yeah, even though it's all one ownership and one conservation and everything else. that's why I did the separate form.
Okay, let's go to the second one,
Okay?
unless you have more questions.
No, that's
Nope.
it.
Okay. So what are you doing here?
Well, the second one is basically, we wanted to do either like, weddings and, private parties on the property across the street from the house, basically. Just it's an incredible view and beautiful site that we just thought we'd share it. And also it helps, we get a small fee for hosting events, and it helps support the farm.
Not looking to add a structure,
No, it would just basically,
prepare a pad site to
just
be able
with
to
grass.
accommodate a tent.
Yeah,
Yep.
just to level off a little, a small area would be about 60 by 80 probably, just to accommodate a tent.
And
And it
60
would
by
be-
80-foot tent or a 60 by 80-foot pad?
60 for 80 grass area. The tent
Might
I think
require
we-
some hard pack, though.
possibly, but we hopefully we'll be able to do it with just grass.
Is there a conservation easement on that way?
There is, yes, and I've already asked the Conservation PLC, and they had no objection to it. Because it would be a temporary thing, we're not really changing the views or anything. It's
Not at all.
seasonal. It'd probably be maybe 6 to 10 weddings in the summer. We're not looking to overdo it, just again, like, it's just another income stream to help support the farm.
Would the tent be permanently up?
No, it would not. It would be,
Each
they
event.
basically put it up on Thursday, take it down on Monday. So,
That's if it's a
That's-
weekend event.
yeah,
But it would only be up for a few days.
right.
And where are these folks going to go to the bathroom?
We'd have to bring in portable,
potties?
porta
Yeah.
potties. And we did, as I put on the plan there, we were going to add electric and water over there with basically a well. And we
And a
have,
separate
we
meter.
have electric. I've actually already talked with Eversource, and we can put an electric panel there, and we would basically enclose that in a little structure that would look like a little kind of
Which
hut
would-
kind of thing. just
Would
so that
probably sit down below road level as
it-
well.
It's mostly below the road level because it drops off right from the wall.
Would it make sense to run water and electricity from the house under the road?
Well, it's actually no, just because we'd have to tear up the road to get the water. You still have to put a panel over there, and Eversource said it would be better for us to go, because the transformer is right on the pole
that
that's
pole.
on that side of the road. So we'd basically put it right in front of that, and it has to come out about 4 feet out of the ground, but it's already a drop of like 2 or 3 feet from the road.
The reason for this, for the thought was that wells are not inexpensive. And there
Oh.
are horizontal drills, so you wouldn't have to tear up the road necessarily.
Oh,
You could,
Oh,
Bring water
That's
from there?
expensive too, though.
That's-
I don't know.
yeah. I
Frost-free
think-
well would probably be the most prudent way to go. And
Yeah.
also our livestock would benefit from it too every day.
Right. So we
Rather than
wanted to
us
do that,
schlepping water across the street as we do now,
right.
it would also provide water for livestock, so.
You know, there was somebody else in here with the same plan, not long ago, something else that they came up with. And they needed a place, especially for weddings, I guess, for the wedding parties to change up and.
Correct.
We would provide a bedroom in our house and a
Yeah.
bathroom that the wedding parties can use, yeah.
and all of the parking would be
On the
off-road.
field across the street, yeah. There's actually, well, actually, you went to a wedding, the Sue and
Edges.
John's wedding, and where you parked in that lot, it would basically be the same parking for,
But now you've got a fence there.
the fence was there as well. I mean, actually, the posts were all there.
That's what was stopping when that wedding happened, that's what everybody pulled right up to, is the fence.
Yeah.
And there'd be enough room, how many people at one of these events?
The maximum would be 200, but most weddings are under 150.
So that's
Right.
100 cars?
Probably not 100 cars, but it could be probably 80, because most people come, as couples or it wouldn't be 100 cars.
We'd be able to park those responsibly too.
We also
You
have,
can park 80 cars off the road.
yes, and we
Yes.
also have the woodlot across the street, which we could use as parking, where it's open, where we had the access from when we did our cut.
No, there'd be nothing on the road though, no parking on the
No,
road.
no parking on the road.
Wouldn't this be a commercial venture? And how is that allowed in Article 17? This is my question.
Well, it is allowed apparently. The state
I
of New
think it's
Hampshire.
allowed by state law.
A wedding is an agricultural function?
They went through that in Henniker.
Agritourism.
It's agritourism.
Agritourism, yeah.
Welcome to the 21st century.
I think the 21st century in 2019 changed about 2 months ago.
Oh, really?
I'm not positive on that, though.
That would be a Drescher question.
Not good. Let me, look, I might lose power, but it might be in my deleted emails. I'm never gonna find it in time before I run out of power.
The statute?
No, I'm on a Plan Link webs. I get emails from Plan Link where all the various planners and the municipal associations and all that kind of stuff are asking questions to other planners and so forth. And about 3 weeks ago, maybe 2 months ago, something like that, somebody asked the very same question I just asked, and it came back that that's a commercial venture. It didn't get
Well,
covered under
I think I
agritourism.
read something on it. It's allowed by the state, but each town has to adopt regulations individually, or they may. And I'm not sure of that.
Well, I got the question posted May 6th, but I'm not gonna find the answer. My phone's about ready to die. I guess that's a Drescher question.
Drescher is the attorney for the planning
Yeah.
board.
Can you ask Mr. Drescher that question before you go on permanent vacation? Think you get an answer before you go on permanent vacation?
I don't know. I'm waiting for a couple other answers right now, and I have to go see him on another matter.
Well, if you see him, he'll give you the answer when you see him.
So,
So the question is it considered a commercial venture? And even though it is agritourism, is there any restrictions on that as far as zoning? Because it might still be a commercial venture, but as agritourism, it should be allowed in almost any zone. Like, that's what they went through in Henniker.
Yes,
At the tree farm.
yes.
So unless the Supreme Court has changed their ruling,
but let's,
I think that's where it went, was the Supreme Court.
and there was statutory changes as a result. But let's check it out with Mr. Drescher.
I think we need to check, it's gonna be a,
So you write down the exact question that you want an answer for. Send me an email.
So-
okay.
So the proposal is to have no more than 10 events per year in the summer, fall.
Well, yeah, it would be
Yeah.
June to September, probably, or
And-
maybe into October.
Each event would occur on one day, either a Saturday or a Sunday, and starting at 9 and ending at 11. That's what you say here.
Yeah, that would be the latest, yeah.
Okay. No, I know, but it might be. And your language here says a maximum of 250 people, but
It should be 200,
it should be 200.
yeah.
And you have parking for at least 80 cars. And if you're
On that
pressed,
side of the road, and we have more on the other, yeah.
but the point is, they wouldn't be up and down the road.
No.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
Okay.
Be specific about that in your site plan, because it will go to the police department for review.
Yep.
Okay.
Unless you invite them all. Direct traffic while they're there.
Any other questions for us?
No, I don't
Get
think
a
so.
hold of Mr. Drescher. We have a phone number here.
Yeah, I have your phone.
Yep, we got a phone number and a email address.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right,
All right, thank you.
Very much.
Where did you come up with the amount of cars and so on and so on?
Oh, we asked them, and
Oh,
they said it
okay.
here. It's,
Oh, I thought it was-
the only thing in there is the number of people.
Just what I saw.
Second item on the agenda is TMS Diesel. Proposed to construct 6,000 square foot building at the intersection of Rockland Road and Concord Stage Road, map 202, lot 94.2 in the commercial zone.
You might recognize this lot.
Yep, I think I will. I know right where it is.
Okay.
Even walked around a little bit.
Yep, that's the one.
Is that building going to be visible from Route 77?
Yes.
The roof potentially. 77 is a lot lower.
It's going to be visible when you're down here.
When you're over here,
Yeah, when you're driving this way, you're going to see
you'll
it.
see this end.
Yeah.
But when you're over here, you just see the roof because of the, and coming
This
this
one?
way?
I don't know that answer. I think you're going to see
From the
it.
downhill side, you think that you're gonna see it? Is that what you're saying?
From, yeah, from
From North Weare.
west.
Okay,
If you're driving east on 77, you're going to see it up there in the hill.
gotcha. So,
When you get beside it, you're not going to see anything. Maybe the roof.
so this is the plan essentially that we had the last time. They wanna do something similar, in nature. The last time that we looked at it, it was for an excavation operation. TMS Diesel does, maintenance and service and repairs on, light duty and heavy duty trucks. So similar idea, but, not excavation and no auctions and things like that. So the questions that we had last time, were as far as the driveway location coming out onto Rockland Road and then getting onto 77. That was, we didn't really look into that. The owners asked if it would be possible to come off of 77 at a lower point. I just got a driveway permit slightly below this property from the state, and they were all right with it. When we had talked last, the concern was that it was a scenic byway and that you prefer the driveway to be off of Rockland Road versus coming off of the highway. So I guess looking for a little bit of feedback on that.
Where is that driveway located that you're suggesting?
So the proposed driveway is right here off of Rockland Road. This is Merrill Road.
Oh, okay, so it's still coming on to Rockland Road.
Well, that's the way that we have it right now. You know, they asked about, can we come off the highway? Should we go off Rockland Road? I said, well, we'll float it by the planning board, see what they say, and go to the state, or, you know, just see where it brings us.
Why is the building located there as opposed closer to Rockland Road?
There's a lot of wetlands in the front, so there's a little bit more usable space back there. And there was concerns about being able to see it from the road, so if it's further back, it's more concealed. That's not a finite location by any stretch of the mind, but it's a place to start.
Where would you put a driveway off 77?
Probably on the point where it's,
That little low point? Oh,
yeah, right in this neck of the woods, not as much of a cut. And it's kind of the inside of the corner, so sight distance would be better, not that it's bad, but.
I guess I'm confused by your answer to an earlier question. All of the indications here show that the building is, you're trying to screen the building. It says existing vegetation to remain as site buffer from highway, that kind of thing.
Yep.
And then I thought you said you wanted to put the building in a place where it could be seen from the road. Did I miss?
Can't be seen from the road.
Can't be seen.
Yeah.
Thank you. So why not move it farther back away from 77 and closer to Rockland?
Into like this area?
Maybe there, or maybe even,
Yeah.
There's not a lot of room
There's
here.
there's not a lot of room, and as you get downhill, you get closer to that wetland, so then you'd be into a pump situation with your septic and what have you.
where's the wetland? Is this whole area wetland?
This is wet. This is wet.
There's wetland and then there's buffer to deal with. So being up higher for drainage and all that type of stuff, it just works a lot better.
Here's a setback.
Well, this is the building down near River Road.
That's where they are now.
They're gonna have a leach field over here? That's a huge.
That's proposed stuff from, as we were looking at it before. We haven't got into the finite bits of design. We just wanted to get some feedback from you before we kind of launch into it.
Well, where you're gonna get the real feedback is gonna be when the crowd comes in.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
Well,
I'd like to address some of your concerns with the first round of it so that we don't come to an official meeting and then you have a lot of concerns and then we need to go back and do more engineering and what have you. So the first concern was the driveway location. I mean, if you guys are adamantly against Route 77, then we wouldn't explore that. But if you're not, then we would look into it.
Well, I think that is a very dangerous intersection. Now, with this.
The existing one of,
existing-
yep,
But that's without adding anything.
yep.
So maybe your driveway location, I don't really know what that would help or it matters worse.
If we had the driveway off of 77, it would take that intersection right out of the picture.
Yeah,
Well-
but that's a hill.
Yeah, if you're gonna come out that driveway and turn right and go up the hill with the trucks,
Yeah. You're gonna really have a negative impact on traffic. How many vehicle trips a day are we talking about?
I don't have those numbers, not as much as you would think, but I don't have the numbers yet.
Does the business have a contract with a major truck-owning company, or does it basically deal with individual truck owners?
I believe it to be individual. I don't know that. The next meeting, the owner will be here to explain all of these things.
I personally would prefer off Rockland Road.
Oh, yeah.
I think if you put a driveway off 77, you're gonna make it a lot more visible.
Without question.
Yeah, you're gonna, yes,
Oh, yeah.
the visibility's gonna,
To the extent that the building is not visible, and the driveway's off Rockland, and the only thing that's, quote, visible is a modest sign, I think you diffuse a lot of opposition.
Driveway off Rockland, modest sign, okay.
And the building as inconspicuous as it's possible,
Yep.
so locate it in such a way that,
Yep, and screened and buffered and what have you. Obviously, we'll do a whole stormwater treatment and a pre and post drainage plan. As far as lighting goes, would you be looking for, a full lighting plan or just descriptions of the lights, cutoffs, dark sky compliant, what have you?
we normally see the location on the building.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
I don't think we need to see all the,
The plumes and what have you.
yeah, I don't think we need to see that with this, what type of light, downcast, dark sky plan, all that kind of thing.
Yep.
How many, what kind.
Yep.
To be honest, I've already gotten a couple phone calls on this. Well, you're on the agenda,
Oh, okay. It's out.
so it's out, yes.
Yeah, I have names on my wall. Is the intent of this to be both sales and repairs or strictly repairs?
Sales, as far as, to the best of my knowledge, it's a repair facility. They're not selling vehicles or anything like that.
That's for them.
Yep. Caught me off guard there. I was like, what are we selling?
Fixed trucks.
Yeah, fix and maintain and tune up trucks.
This is for Jeff Remillard, according to the plan.
That was Remolar's
That was
original
originally, I
plan.
changed the logo to TMS Diesel. That was the original plan.
So he's not involved?
He's not involved in it, no.
What was the variance that you got?
to allow for the driveway within the wetland buffer. So the wetland buffer comes out over into here, about halfway into where the driveway is. So that variance is, it's up in a couple of months, but they're gonna start work on getting that in there.
And where are the parking spaces going to go?
Around and beside and adjacent to the building. So probably in the front here and then along the side.
So
Are-
during the course of operation, the only thing that folks would see are trucks going in and out.
Yep.
They wouldn't see what's parked and
Nope.
in a sad state or a happy
Nope.
state of repair.
Nope. And we talked about, screening fences and things of that nature so that anything that's, parked, awaiting repair, what have you, won't be seen from,
The way the lot's set up now, unless you're cutting down a lot of vegetation, you can't see the interior.
you can't.
Well-
When the leaves are on the trees, you certainly can't. When the leaves are off the trees, you really gotta look. But the last time there was a heavy amount of concern, so I expressed all that to the owner and, he's good with plantings and buffers and fences and whatever we have to do to make everybody in the neighborhood as happy as we can.
If I remember right, the two places you could really see on the property was the wetland close to Rockland. You could see in there,
Where the access is now. And then,
kind of where you have the word proposed and proposed sign location. In that general area, you could see into the site pretty well. And then again,
That's true, especially since they cut down a lot of stuff.
yeah, I was gonna say, they cut down everything. What's the scale of this thing?
50,
100?
roughly.
And then about,
If you're using the thumb rule, 100 is fine.
okay, yeah. No, it's this is an inch.
Yeah.
It's a reduced
Then about
plan, though.
200, maybe a little over 200 feet west, there's that little valley in there.
Yep.
I believe you can see a house across the road through that little valley.
From when you're on the site?
Yes,
Yes. Yep.
I believe that was.
Vice versa, the house can see
Yeah,
into
yes.
the site.
Yes.
But you're looking down into the valley at the wetland, the building would be further back, so from the line of sight from that house, you wouldn't see the building, in theory.
No, you may not see the proposed building.
And there would be no parking along that road, so as far as that house is concerned,
You wouldn't,
you'd see a road.
Exactly.
Are you still planning the circular
Yes.
traffic?
Yep.
Why? Out of curiosity.
He liked the idea of that for easy in and out with bigger trucks and what have you, it seemed to work for me like that,
Where's
so.
circular access?
He's doing this thing. Well, guys, don't have to turn around over there, it makes
I
sense.
missed that. Oh, I see it now.
Yeah, you'll be driving around the wetland.
That would be paved or not paved?
More good questions. Regardless of what the surface would be, there would be adequate stormwater management.
What does it mean, remove drive material to level of wetland?
So there was an existing logging operation, or it was a landing at one point in time that filled over the wetland, which you can do with logging. So as a part of the variance, they wanted to remediate that back to wetland. So basically pull out all of the driveway that's there and let it turn back to wetland.
I see.
Didn't they have to put the stone wall back together where that other driveway is?
I'll have to look at that. I don't remember that, but I'll have to look at the variance.
I'm pretty sure it said return the driveway to its natural state, which
And
I believe they assumed was the stone wall
Right.
runs across.
so it could have been like I'd take the stones from the proposed driveway, put them on the existing driveway situation. Makes sense.
So that's gonna be done when you build the other driveway?
Yeah, that was part of the variance.
Right. Well, I'm about 95% sure we're gonna be wanting a traffic study of that intersection.
That was going to be my next
At
question.
least 95%. Because everybody's concerned about that intersection.
When the trucks come in for repairs, would the trailers come with them?
I don't believe that they do any trailer repair. It's just straight trucks. The couple times I've been down there to meet with them, I didn't see any trailers around.
Because if you had a semi-trailer making that turn onto Rockland.
They mostly work on motors.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand
yeah.
that, but I don't know if a guy, when he brings his truck in, drags his trailer with it, or whether he leaves the trailer home.
They leave the trailer home. If they were for one thing, if the truck's down, the trailer could be working, you know, somebody else could be using it or what have you, but it would clog up their yard, something fierce. I don't think they would allow that or
And it's
accommodate
easier
that.
to drive a truck without a trailer.
Yeah.
Really?
Thank you, Captain Obvious, for that question.
You're at, you 6,000 square foot building or a 5,000 square foot building?
It's a 5,000 on there. They weren't sure if they were going to go 5,000 or 6,000, somewhere
Okay.
in that vicinity. There's still a number of things that we're working out.
The same owners own the abutting property as well?
It's been transferred. TMS Diesel owns that one, and TMS Diesel owns this property. The abutting property is still owned by Frank Burrell. Frank sold this property to TMS Diesel.
But where it says down here, Burl, that's accurate.
Yes,
And what's on that site?
his house,
Burl's.
Burrell's residence. Yep.
I thought you did a subdivision, you had a different lot here.
We didn't quite finish that.
Oh. Didn't we conditionally approve it?
No,
No?
the paperwork was never submitted.
Yeah,
for Final approval.
we needed a few things, and it's
Okay.
We'll get back to you eventually on that. Don't worry.
No problem. I'm having memory problems tonight, obviously.
No, you're there.
Yeah, I thought that was done.
It needed a wetland permit and some driveway grading and what have you, and it just kind of halted the
You
project.
had a long driveway going way
Yep.
back there. Yep. Now, yep.
To the extent in your planning that you can accommodate the objections of abutters, the better off you are.
Absolutely.
So
And
this
I
is,
think you have a good sense of what they are.
I have a very good sense. No, that was the initial discussion I had, and then I wanted to come and talk to you folks as far as just the nuts and bolts of what we're gonna do, and then the next time that the whole neighborhood's here, we can go over additional concerns above and beyond what we have on the plan and what have you.
how many spills are gonna be, what's gonna be, how many spills are being contained, what fluids, et cetera, are gonna be in the building? I assume all the work's gonna be done inside.
It's all gonna be inside, yeah.
Any storage of any fluids outside?
I'm fairly certain the answer to all those questions is no, because other entities get involved with it and
Right.
stuff.
And what about junk vehicles? Stuff that he's using for parts.
That doesn't happen. It's newer vehicles, new replacement parts and stuff. There's,
It should be very clear on the plan, then there will be no outside storage. I assume, with the exception of vehicles that are waiting to be repaired or having been repaired, waiting
for
to be
pickup.
picked up
Yep.
by their owners.
yep.
So there will be no unregistered vehicles on the premises.
Were these two retaining walls, is that what these are?
Yeah,
In front of the
so
front
there's a
side,
pretty
okay.
big cut there, and anything over 6 feet has to be engineered, so we were looking at, terracing or something like that. I'm sure
kinda
that's,
remember that.
I'm sure that's all gonna change, when we get this nailed down exactly what they wanna do.
If you put the building farther back, then you don't
Rain's a
have to do
little
that.
lower.
You don't need those walls.
Or smaller walls.
You still think you'd need walls?
I don't know. We'll see how it lays out.
Okay. Are they gonna run into trouble with the 10% rule?
The driveway?
No, not the grade of the driveway, but impervious coverage.
No, they're not in the aquifer. Note 5 says he's not in the aquifer.
Sign is 5 by 8?
That's a carryover. We haven't discussed signage yet.
Is this zone commercial?
Yes.
I don't know what I think of this idea, but how about no left turns going out to Rockland Road? Therefore, you eliminate anything to that intersection.
No left turn.
You'd have to go down to
So you'd
River
have to go
Road.
down.
You have to go down to River Road and come back over. I'm just throwing it out there. I have no idea if I even like the idea. It's just,
Seems pretty logical to me.
except then all the trucks will be going by everybody
Yeah,
else.
that's,
You're gonna,
that was- yeah.
I'm gonna make a bunch of other people mad and make everybody happy at the
Yeah.
intersection. I realize what I did there, but it's just a thought. Just wanted to throw it out there, something. Because it wouldn't be very much further.
aside from the neighborhood, it's a great idea.
Thank you. Except for everybody living on Rockland Road is now mad at me, but
The sign cannot be larger than 32 square feet. And the height of, if I'm assuming this is a freestanding sign, can't be more than 8 feet above ground level.
So 32 feet, that'd be 4 by 8.
And I think that's it. And if it's lit,
Externally.
right, somewhere in here, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the lights can only be on when the business is open. So you can't have it as an advertising, in
Yep.
effect.
It's more of a, so somebody looking for the place knows where to turn, not.
Exactly.
Yep.
I see your zoning book.
I don't have it with me.
Check the sign ordinance.
Yeah,
I-
they added some things to the commercial district.
They being the subcommittee and
Yeah.
the voters and everybody else.
Yep.
Because we had a subcommittee on that, and we changed it. I believe the sign's bigger, and I believe
Sounds bigger and you can have more of them.
99% sure you can light it internally lit too.
I'm reading it right here.
I know, me too.
And this was amended in 2011. Isn't that when we made the changes?
No. We did it about
No, it
3
was
years
after that. I
ago.
think it was after that.
So the latest version is not up to date?
The latest version is not up to date. Ask the selectman who made the statement that I have nothing to do. And she'll tell you why it's not up to date.
Yeah, it wasn't 8 years ago we did that, I don't think.
Do you have the latest version of the sign ordinance part?
Locked up in my office.
Can you,
We'll figure
Yeah,
that
'cause
all out.
I know
That's-
I know you're allowed a changeable letter sign underneath the main sign. I know that for a fact.
yes.
So
We'll figure all that out. That's
yeah,
minor.
Trust me on that part.
Appreciated, but minor.
Just, yeah, I understand that, but when you get to it, make sure you get the right regulation.
Yep.
That one's not it.
I'm selling those now.
You are?
Yes, the latest versions
Oh,
pay-
I thought you were
I'll
talking
pay
about
you a
the
paperclip.
letter
How's that?
signs.
are for sale. I asked you if you wanted one and you said no, because we have zoning ordinances to add with that new historic district down there.
Well, yeah, but now it's May, and that happened 2 months ago, so I
There's no
thought, I kind of thought I'd get the new ordinances by
There's
now.
no clerical help to do anything.
Can you send us by email a copy of the current, in effect, sign ordinance? So if this is not accurate,
Yeah.
Article 34 has been updated.
Yes.
Nice to get it.
Yes.
Will it have Riverdale in there too?
No. Riverdale has gone to the mapper, but it has not gone to press as of yet. The person who does that is overworked as well. And that's not me.
Any more questions for us?
No, I think we're good. I mean, we hit all the majors, and so I know what you're looking for. So we'll design it and be back eventually. You're still studying that pretty hard.
Yeah, I don't like that circular drive at all, but I understand this point completely. It makes the truck movement a lot easier.
Yeah.
If he moves the building in a different position, he could make the circular drive around the building, no?
Pretty tight turn for a big truck.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Okay, we're to a continued site plan. I'm not gonna say continuation, I'm gonna say continued site plan for Keith Mulholland.
Hold your tongue.
781 South Sark Highway, map 411, 150 in the commercial zone. These both the same?
I'll get my own too.
We can share if you want.
So we're back with a checklist of things. You want us to go over them?
Yes.
Okay. Amended note 4 to say 12 spaces. Do you have a list of things, or how did you keep track of that?
Red ink
All right.
on black paper.
Okay, so you'll be able to go through with my list here. The aquifer area, whether it was in an aquifer area, note 7, it's not. Hours of operation is in note 10.
Note 10?
10.
I see 9, I don't see 10.
Well,
Oh, notes continued, sorry.
yeah, I didn't put a C left in it, but sometimes I do that. Siding type is in note 11. Siding of building will be metal, standing rib. We have pictures of it. I showed you last time. Purpose of plan is Keith's note, which you recommended adding to the plan. Type of business, what he's doing there.
Question, I thought the business was not just going to be sandblasting, but painting also.
Yeah, it was in that write-up.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Thought I did it. Okay, well, I will look at the note better.
The purpose of plan should state
Yeah,
sandblasting and painting services for vehicles.
okay.
Is there anything else going on there?
No.
Undercoating?
Yes.
You mentioned
Yeah, the
that.
undercoating.
Better put that in there too.
Really? Must have a note that bad?
What else is going on?
I said just the sandblasting, undercoating, and
Okay.
coatings.
All right, we'll correct that. It's gonna be whatever he turned in.
Yeah,
I
think
thought
you
that's
ha-
what I did.
You have a written thing on there somewhere.
I had it on my,
But we'd like to have it on the
No,
plan
I hear
because
you,
then
yeah.
everybody,
that's what I thought I put on, but obviously I don't have it quite right.
And I think it's coatings, not painting. You had said painting.
yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
difference between painting and coatings.
What is the difference?
Well, he's gonna be painting too, right?
Well, yeah, it's mostly gonna be like primers and that type of coating.
I always thought painting included undercoating with primers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
put it down.
yeah, I mean, there's not much difference between primer and paint, I mean, other than.
But undercoating is different.
Yeah,
Undercoating is very different.
Yes, absolutely.
It's not paint,
Yep.
that's not either one. We have the fence around the dumpster. 6-foot tall stockade fence. We added a berm on the back side of the parking. It goes about 130 feet from the handicap spot down to space 7. I numbered the spaces too, just to make it easier.
What is a berm? Under note 6, 130 feet of asphalt berm.
What's a berm about?
Curb.
It's curved, yeah, basically.
How wide?
It's a standard, whatever they have, 8 inches, 6 to 8 inches, and 4 inches high.
And behind it is soil level with the highest point. And at the end of this berm, the water is going to spill down into the wetland?
Into a
Into
little
the puddle.
I called it a detention area, but
Yeah.
it's gonna slow the speed of all the water coming up.
Speaking of powder, will you do powder coating?
No.
No, you're not gonna do
No.
that.
No
No, 'cause
plating?
You need a heater, like an oven for that.
Pardon?
You need an oven for that.
Are you gonna do plating?
When are you opening?
Within a year or two.
There's a big demand for your services in this town. Let's do it in 6 months.
The lighting shown on the building and described in note 9. On the left side of the building is a single light, on the right side is a double light, and then around the corner, lighting up the walkway to the office is a single light. And they're labeled there, and I believe he gave you details, cut sheets for it.
And I hope I'm right on this, but those lights on that sign can only be on when the business is open.
No,
The ones on the
Say no.
building are motion lights.
the motion
Yeah, the
detector.
motion, we
No, on the sign,
Oh, and the sign, I'm sorry, I missed that part.
not the building. The building is different.
And so up in the corner, I put a drainage and landscaping detail, which shows the drainage and the parking, paved parking's been, we talked about putting slightly pitching everything to the center and draining into a little area that would slow the speed of all that water. And so I've got it graded to do that. And then the landscaping, we talked about 3 spruce trees over on the left, and 2 shrubs, we're putting in juniper shrubs to the left of the building, and 4 to the right,
Is that marked here?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Up top.
up top.
Oh,
And then I think I put a note to landscaping, and I explained that would be, that area would be bark mulched, and everything else that's gets disturbed, will be loamed and seeded around.
what happens to the space between between your property line and the pavement of Route 114? I know that's the state's right-of-way, but
It'll get,
what happens there?
it's gonna get
There's grass.
loamed and seeded, yeah.
So you're gonna maintain it?
Yeah.
In effect?
Yep.
And did we ask
Wait,
for
wait,
anything?
what was your question again, and what was your answer?
Th-
The area between the pavement and the right-of-way line,
The 50-foot
In that big
buffer.
island.
This area
He's asking
here.
about that island, I think.
yes.
Okay, and he just said that he plans to basically grass it or put mulch or something there. Because he's doing some very nice things on his landscaping plan on his property,
I agree.
and it's not gonna look very attractive if the state right-of-way is maintained and it's
It's
unattractive
It's
condition.
unmaintained, yeah.
It's unmaintained now, yeah.
Don't tell DOT you're gonna do that.
What's
I don't
that?
think they have a problem with grass. I think they would if I was planting something out there, but,
Yeah, if you put loam down there, they might get upset.
yeah.
Did we want any visual or natural barrier between the building and the adjacent property? Because aren't they in 2 different zones?
Yes, but there really ain't any place to put any barrier. We kind of discussed that with the leach field and the existing tree line.
And in the summer, they have a buffer, but yeah, in the winter, they can see.
And I did look, and their house is quite a ways away. It's not,
Yeah, it's not close.
But there's some sort of a requirement, isn't there, about 200 feet or
It's-
100 feet?
it's up to us, it's a requirement. I read it last time.
Have you been on site, Neil? Neil, have you been on site? Have you seen the site?
Oh, yeah, I drive by it all the time.
Well,
I have not walked down into the wetland or anything.
no, I meant to see how far the other building is. I mean, it's not close, it's not like it's 50 feet away. It's-
No, no.
I don't know exactly what the distance is.
But it's gotta be between 100 and 200 feet.
Oh, that's the page I don't have.
What page are you on?
Probably page 30.
I'm there. Commercial zoning district. Buffer strips. In the commercial district, any
Oh, I have
new
a page.
commercial activities shall provide for and maintain a strip of native plantings approved by the planning board along property lines and boundaries, including road frontage, that may be required to act as a visual screen or sound buffer as appropriate to the proposed development or activity. Landscape plan will be shown to provide for a visually appealing green space that softens the view. There was something, but there's some other requirement where the property abuts a residential zone, where a commercial zone abuts a residential zone.
It's got to be in that section, isn't it?
I don't think so. I remember because you brought that up that time.
I kind of remember that too, now that you say that, 'cause I remembered on the one down the road here, that we kind of messed up.
Do you remember where that is, Chip?
No, I do not. Is it in site plan?
That's wrong, look, that's wrong.
How many feet frontage along 114 is there, Art? Frontage on 114?
How much frontage?
Yeah,
The whole, the total?
total.
Looks like it's almost 400 feet. 393. One big curve.
Oh, I think it's for the industrial district. Look at page 33, 27, 25-7.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing it in there, but that doesn't mean I didn't miss it.
The industrial has like 100-foot
Yep.
buffer or something.
So do I.
That's a big number.
I made that mistake once.
Yeah, it's the same wording as that other one, except it adds a little more to it. The site plan regulations do add some things in it, but it's pretty
Doesn't
vague.
specifically talk about a commercial zone abutting
No.
a residential. Because in industrial, in any industrial district, any new activity adjoining an existing residential home shall not locate within 100 feet of a property line or the boundary separating the two districts, and provide and maintain a strip of native plantings to act as a visual screen. I thought that applied to commercial, but apparently not.
There is a lot of natural vegetation down there
There is.
between where he wants to go and the neighbors.
I don't know how much that's the neighbor's and how much is his, but
Well,
there is
most
a
of
lot.
it's the neighbors. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if the neighbor cuts that close to it, then
Sorry.
that's what he gets. That's what he gets, but he'll probably keep it there. But there are some on our property. If there wasn't anything on our property, I could see maybe requiring something.
You don't have any place else to put a leach field. You don't want to be planting trees in your leach field, so. This lot's,
That's not gonna, that area is not gonna provide any buffer from the neighbor, because the neighbor's down the road, down that other road. After
He's back here.
The tree line that you have on the plan, that's whatever there is, that you're showing what is now, not something new.
No, that's existing.
So, is there something, some commitment or some note that talks about not removing that?
Most of it's
No,
not on my
the note-
property,
the-
I mean,
The notes, it's a regulation, we have to keep that there. We have to keep a natural buffer there. You read it in the reg. You read there has to be a natural buffer, but there was, then you went and said, oh, maybe there's a distance or something. So that's why you went off onto that.
But it looks, the language, I think, was dealing with a situation where there wasn't any vegetation, and the applicant had to provide vegetation in there. It doesn't say anything about where there is some sort of an existing buffer, and whether or not
I could put a
the...
note on there, this vegetation to remain.
Yeah. Okay. Craig, is there anything that is necessary with respect to keeping all of his paints and undercoatings and things like that within the building and a place for runoff so that it doesn't go down into the wetland?
Isn't that EPA regulations?
Yeah.
Do we need anything? Okay.
It wouldn't hurt to have no outdoor storage of materials or something like that. I don't see that anywhere. You're not planning on any outdoor storage anyway, right?
I don't know what note I was reading.
Anybody else have any questions or comments? Anybody from the public like to speak? If not, close for public hearing or public comment.
Ready for motion?
Not quite. So there's no basement in your building, right?
correct.
So your slab's at 197, and you're gonna have a stone wall that's gonna be, I just lost my elevation, lost my train of thought. Okay, so it's be about 196.
You're going to have some sort of an exhaust fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
How
Oh,
noisy is that?
that's what that,
About 85 decibels, so just up from conversation. The vent is in, the fan and everything is inside, not outside.
So if I were standing on the property line, would I hear anything?
Probably.
you were,
But it'd be a very slight,
you were gonna,
they're not that loud, the paint booth ones are not that loud.
we talked about venting in that bump out, for lack of a better term, on the 14-foot side.
Yep,
Is that still your plan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Somehow we need to show that. I couldn't remember what my red mark was on my plan here.
I'm glad I
Yeah.
helped you out.
Show a vent
And you reminded me, yes.
coming out the side of the building, it comes out the side, is it?
Yeah, on
Yeah,
that
it's
14.
either the side of the roof.
Yeah, I don't care which, but if it's gonna come out the side, I want it going that way.
Yep.
What do you wanna see on there?
The vent to either be out the roof or out that side where
he
the,
wants
where
it in
the
this
14,
one.
where the 14-foot dimension is, so it's not going, aiming towards the neighbors.
Yep.
It's aiming towards the fire station. Is that right?
Better know, but.
Okay, so we're gonna wanna see a curb detail too. I think you can get that in here. Up
Of
here,
what?
of the
Vent?
curb,
Of the vent?
of the curb.
Oh, the curb.
Showing it backfilled to the top of the curb, you know the typical detail you see.
Oh, like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think everybody knows what it is. The paving guy's gonna put it in.
I understand. But I wanna see the detail with it backfilled to the top of it, so that when the plow guy doesn't push it down over the hill. Hopefully. Yes, I think I'm ready for motions. If everybody else is.
I move we approve the application subject to the following conditions and/or changes to the notes and plan. Number one, a note indicating that no outdoor storage of materials or equipment will occur. Number two, the existing vegetation of the southwest boundary shall be maintained, shall not be removed, rather than be maintained. Number three, venting shall be shown and shall be on the 14-foot side of the proposed building
Or through the roof.
or through the roof. Four, curb detail shall be added. And there was a fifth, which I don't have.
I have to correct the
Painting,
note.
painting,
Oh, right. And five,
Purpose of-
correct the note describing the
purpose.
purpose of the plan to add coatings, painting, and undercoating as activities that will be conducted by the business. There was another one that you said that I missed. I don't know.
6 and 7. There's another one?
Well, it's gotta have that before you sign off on it.
Well, if we don't make a condition, it won't.
6, that the DES septic approval and DOT driveway permit numbers be added to the plan. That's it?
I think so. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
7 items.
That's 6.
6. Do we have a second? Mr. Bolton seconded. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Submit a copy of the sign.
You gotta get a sign permit.
It's in there.
I'm sorry?
It's in there.
Yeah, we had a sign, yes. He did have a sign in there. In the application, he had it yesterday, or last time.
That was the night you were sleeping in front of the TV and forgot to come.
Taking a 45-minute shower.
Yeah, there is a
There is?
Yeah.
mock-up of the sign with the lights on it.
Okay, and some indication that the lights are only on when the business is on. I think that's still in the rules.
Oh, I think it is.
And did he show the, did his sign show the movable letters on the bottom or not? So just 4x8?
Could you pass that down, please?
Did you get rid of these?
Next item on the agenda is some driveway permits, stone wall removal. Somewhere. There.
And he has pictures in hand.
You have pictures in hand.
We have pictures in hand, yes. Morgan is the owner of the property, I'm her father. I'm Peter. She's just, you guys approved her 3-lot subdivision, and now she's here in front of you to try to get access to the 3 lots by breaking through stone walls. That's number 1, 2, and 3.
This one's about across from the other no, that one's across from the other guy's driveway?
This one here is pretty much across from the other driveway.
Okay.
There's a byway here already.
Yes, that's the one I saw on the way
Trying to
home.
keep it so that it's not taken up, you know, trying to use part of that byway also, so we're extending it down on that one. And this one here is already a byway here also, trying to do the same thing, just going one side of it.
Can you, what will you do with the stones that you remove here?
Probably.
Put them over here?
Put them somewhere around, maybe for a flare or something into the lot. And they're not very, they're kind of large rocks, and maybe we could put, this tree will not be coming down, so maybe we could stuff a couple back here on the wall.
Somebody who's really good with an excavator should be able to do that pretty easily.
Can I see that picture?
His brother-in-law is good.
That is the only one that's gonna have to be broken, and we tried to pick the worst part of the wall, which is there.
And again, you
And
can,
I didn't notice that when I'm away home from work, or the way here.
and you'll try to the extent that you remove decent material, you'll try to replace it and build up the wall somewhere else. Great.
Actually, the wall could be rebuilt right there. Where it's kind of buried down over the hill. But
Yeah, actually, that,
that's where I think it is.
yeah, that is actually where, this is just a bound.
No, I mean, the stone wall is kind of wiped out from
Yeah.
there on up. It's down over the hill a little bit.
Yes.
So I will pass this along to the selectmen along with a note saying that you have the permission of the planning board.
We haven't recommended that.
Acted yet, but we need to.
They'll get around to it
Jeez,
eventually.
come on.
You ready for a motion?
I'm ready for a motion.
21 days.
I move that that the planning board recommended the Board of Selectmen that the, oh boy,
Map of lot. Back.
that the proposed driveway locations requiring removal of stone wall for the following lots: 404, 168, 404, 168-2, and 404, 168-1 be approved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Chuck, second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, aye. Now you can do it.
Now I'll do what I said.
You'll put it in the selectmen?
Yes. Leave me the pictures and I'll attach them to this. And everything will be upstairs waiting for you on Monday.
Okay, so I'll have to come back tomorrow and drop them off.
Nope. You're done.
I did not hear back from the fire chief today on the one driveway that's long.
Yeah, their meeting is Monday night, so you'll have to go to that meeting.
Okay, even without being on the agenda, 'cause I asked him to over the
Oh,
telephone, but he never got back.
he takes the day off, so we check back with him
I
tomorrow.
will. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And remind Morgan that she's going to the selectmen's meeting on Monday, and you can go to the
Should be there.
Board of Fireworks.
She probably could have handled this herself.
And we're pretty rough, you know.
Wait till you get to the
If you
selectmen.
don't mind me asking, why wouldn't this, when she brought this plan in, brought the plan into the planning board, why wasn't, rather than taking up your time tonight for a special meeting for this, why wasn't this done?
Because nobody asked us to do it. We didn't,
What
we
would
didn't
it-
have an
what would it-
application.
What would it have taken, just to have- show him on the plan?
Yep.
With
Yep.
stone walls?
Yep.
Yep.
No, we have to have a separate vote on that.
Yeah, it would be a separate vote, but it would be
But it could've
done,
been
it could have been done
during
that
the
night.
process.
It could have, yeah, in effect, you could have done what you did tonight at
Yes.
that meeting.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You know, who's that gentleman? I know him, but I can't.
Peter Rose. He owns an excavating business. Really good with an excavator, exceptionally good.
Do the only minutes we have not yet approved, are they April 25th? Is that it? That Bruce did?
Yes,
We've approved the earlier in April minutes?
I believe we have.
I would move to approve Mr. Fillmore's minutes because they were exceptionally good. They were better than the ones that I do, let's put it that way.
Neil is trying to get relieved of his job.
It's not gonna work.
I'm gonna nominate him for secretary.
I should read them then, right? Is that what you're saying?
I wasn't there,
I know.
and so I did read them, I understood them, and didn't find any errors. Now, of course, I may have missed some.
Page 1, next to last line, porpoise should be proposed.
Oh,
I had to get it once.
You have a copy of those?
I'll remember.
where's John when we need him?
He's one of the guys that called me about the others.
Oh, really?
How is he doing?
Well, he's not working Thursday nights anymore. He said he's still having his medical issue, but he's thinking about rejoining.
Good.
So you moved to approve the minutes with the one correction?
Yes,
And Chuck seconded?
he did.
He did.
I heard him.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You want to give that to Ms. Courtney? That way she has it? Is that it? Should I declare it over, or you want to do, can you do that, or do I have to do it?
You can do it.
Can you do it?
Being no further.
Can you do it?
No, only the
Okay.
chair.
Good.
There being no further business to come before them, the
So-
meeting is
so you're-
hereby
you're
adjourned.
making a motion to adjourn?
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Okay, we don't have anything else to do, so we're gonna go home. Meeting's over.
Okay.